Hello, everyone. So we're going to get into some news. Let's see. Right here. I've dated in Australia, the UK, and Sweden. My experiences were also different, helped me learn what I really wanted. Oh, who would just who would just tell people that they were ran through in three different countries? That's oh my God, this lady. This lady has no idea what she just did. Yep. There's she's seen it all. Whew. If I was a woman, I would never admit that, but she went for it. I've dated men in Sweden. I found the experiences very different. Every place had its highs and its lows and its insides, and but London was my favorite place to date. I did not expect that. I'm in a relationship now with someone I met in Stockholm. This mother. You just said London. Here's your bill when you're ready, a waitress told me, and my date as we polished off the last of our cocktails. Here's our bill that you're not going to be paying, and he's going to have to pay. I thought the evening had gone well, at least for a Bumble date. We'd had jerk chicken and fruity drinks at a bustling Caribbean restaurant in Stockholm, spoken about politics, and delved into the internet culture until the lights were switched on and the pumping melodic beats came to an abrupt halt. As I glanced around, I noticed we were the last people there. Was that a sign for it to close? What's happening? Look, I've had a great evening, but I don't think I want to do this again. Damn! He said after a short silence. Do you mind paying? Bam! My brother. He was like, I know you've been around the world and you've got clapped up and down the continent. I don't want to do this anymore. So you're going to have to pay. I'm not paying for a 304. The joys of dating. Hey, I respect it. My dude knows his worth. Women always talking about know your worth. He knows his worth. Yeah. You came there for a free meal. I'm sure she's gotten free meals after a lot of people. One get back. I guess you could say growing up in Australia and the UK, living in Sweden, and visiting London every other month. Ooh, she's in a relationship and she's going to London every other month, and that's her favorite place to date. I'm thinking somebody is smashing her in London and she's going back to her boyfriend in Stockholm. Nah, that's not what. Nah. Uh, gives me a unique perspective on dating, but my reasons have always been the same: a long-term commitment. Sure. And now that I'm finally partnered up, I can reflect on my experiences and share what I've learned about dating. That do need to reconsider because you have no long-term relationship with a chick that's getting plowed through on freaking two different continents. Dating in Australia was too casual for me because you weren't that interesting, maybe. Fresh out of high school as an 18-year-old, I was desperate to have a boyfriend. Began meeting people at clubs, at bars, and through mutual friends, as is the case with dating in my hometown. Okay. It's not uncommon for people to meet in high school and never break up, becoming totally enmeshed in each other's lives over the years. My experiences with dating in Australia were often laid back, with friendly banter and relaxed meetups. They often erred on the side of being too casual for me. Yeah, they're freaking young people, 18. What do you, what? Expect them to be planning to have kids and all this stuff? What do you, this lady. One date in particular stands out. When I drove to a local pie shop to meet a Tinder date, who greeted me with a handshake and a pat on the back as if I was an old schoolmate he'd bumped into on his way to lunch. Wait, he doesn't know you, lady. While I can't argue that the experience would be the same for everyone, Australia has plenty of chivalrous surfer dudes. Chivalrous. There we go. I wouldn't have scoffed at a little romanticism every now and then. This lady, man. You're meeting people on Tinder and you want them to be romantic. They don't know who you are. They're greeting you like a stranger because you're a stranger. You want them to be romantic. They don't even know you for long enough. Maybe if you've known each other and you've gone out a couple of dates, you got to know each other, you would know what kind of gestures that would be romantic. And if you had some sort of history, then romance would come about. But if you expect it right away, that's just weird. That's just weird. If a dude is being romantic right away, you would say he was creepy. So sure. Sweden was too complicated to navigate for me. Having finally graduated from college and hot off an obsession with Vikings, she was looking for some dudes to plow her through in Sweden. I left Australia and settled in Sweden. Not knowing much about Scandinavia, I naively based my idea of men in Sweden on the rugged, dominant types I was seeing on TV. Right. Here's the thing about the rugged, domineering types of men that you see on TV. A lot of those shows are made for women, and those guys aren't realistic. They're not rugged or domineering. They're usually very emotional and very they're attractive because the actors are attractive, but they're usually very emotional and kind of dramatic because it's supposed to be dramatic and actors are playing up a character that they don't even know and they don't even know what it looks like. So they're just generally just being dramatic and adding drama to the scene and making it interesting. Most men, most masculine men, they're not that expressive. They don't talk that much. They say what they need to say, and if they don't need to say anything, they don't say it. In reality, I was hardly prepared for how confusing the world of online dating in Stockholm was as a foreigner. The Swedish concept of lagom, or moderation, permeated every aspect of my life, including dating. I noticed that the people I went out with were hesitant to express their feelings too strongly or move too quickly, which was frustrating for me at times. What did I say? Masculine men. They're not hesitant to express their feelings. They're just not women. They don't express their feelings like women. They're not over dramatic like women. They're men. And for men, there's a vetting process for a woman that you're dating. So they're not moving into things quickly. They don't fall in love and catch feelings and butterflies. Like, it takes time. It usually, a man don't really know a woman until he's like already had sex with her, and that way she feels like invested in the relationship. And when her feelings are invested, she acts like herself. As opposed to before, when she didn't feel invested, she's a little bit more casual and she's a little bit more standoffish and she's waiting for you to impress her. But when after you've slept together, that's usually when the woman tries to impress you. And that's what instinctively, that's what most men wait for. They wait for after the sex to see who you are. Anyways, for example, despite having dated on one Stockholmer for several weeks, and despite him telling me he really liked me, nothing ever seemed to progress further because he was waiting on me to make every move. Was he? Or were you just moving too fast and you kept trying to push him to make a move and you just made the moves instead out of frustration? Like, what move do you expect him to make? Decide to have children with you? Call you his girlfriend? Get down on one knee and propose? Like, what move was he supposed to make? How long did he know you? especially if you're moving to a place for sex tourism because you saw some hot guys on a goddamn TV show. You're a weirdo. Like a dude has to be crazy to try to commit to a girl like that. The UK has far been my favorite place to date. Dating in London takes the top spot out of all the places I've dated in. It's thrilling, nerve-wracking, and exciting. You're never short of places to go. See, eat, or drink. And the same goes for the people. Okay. But while my potential love interests have put in more effort and the dates are less casual, I've encountered pitfalls too. I once went on a string of dates with a guy who seemed like he was really into me and who constantly told me he liked where this was going. But as it turned out, he also wanted to see what else was out there. Yeah. He's doing what you were doing before making a long-term commitment. Almost like he was waiting for the perfect person to fall into his lap. No, it's not. No, it's not. Men are just promiscuous by nature. He didn't want to commit to one chick right away and then have to be monogamous when, especially if you found him attractive. A lot of women found him attractive, and he finally has that chance to like get all the women that he's always fantasized about. Like a man doesn't want to like jump into a monogamous relationship right away just because one girl is cool. It's a very hard decision to make, like especially as a man. Like do I want to settle with this girl? But I'm always thinking about other girls because that's naturally how we are. Do you want to sacrifice your desires for something greater? But is she worth that sacrifice? It's a difficult thing to do, and especially with young men, like they don't really have a lot of guidance to know whether or not when's the right time to make that decision, what to look for. They're just out there just kind of winging it. Because people start saying masculinity is toxic, so they're kind of lost. Rather than putting in the effort and building. Okay, and that's the thing about dating in the UK. It feels like there's always something or someone better around the corner. You base that off the one guy? I ended up footing a few bills in Stockholm to find my Prince Charming, and the reality is this: whether you are swiping right in London, cuddling up in Stockholm, or flirting in Sydney, dating is an adventure that never quite looks the same. I mean, the same was you, and a lot of those guys just wasn't impressed with you. I mean, is it really the guys? I'm sure they eventually settled down with some girl. It just wasn't you. Sorry. Although I do appreciate the fact that I think she's not wearing makeup, and that's the kind of girl I want. That's good. You gotta go to foreign countries. No, I know, to find the girls that are not powdered up all over their faces. Anyways, that was fun. Until next time.